To believe or not to believe, how to start deciphering the masterful works of the Northman director Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers is carving out a place for himself in cinema history. Here's how you can start engaging with his heady films. Lighthouses, Witches, and Northman, oh my! With just 3 feature films, Robert Eggers has already established himself as an auteur of the highest caliber. After seeing his first submitted scripts turned away for being genreless, Eggers conceded to debuting with a genre film, The Witch, a folk horror tale about an exiled Puritan family struggling in the New England wilderness, became an instant classic under his direction.
Boo! There you are. Boo!
Eggers then went on to direct a script co-written with his brother, Max Eggers. Max enlisted Robert's help in developing the story, and their collaboration led to a full-fledged feature. The lighthouse closes in on 2 lighthouse keepers, isolated on their island by stormy weather as they descend into madness.
In a wiki. Just looking to earn a living, just like any man. Starting new. On the run.
The Northman, Eggers' most commercial project so far, fell short of breaking even at the box office, largely due to its enormous budget in comparison to his first 2 features, each of which were produced with under $12 million. Despite faltering at the box office, The Northman delivers a unique experience that hopefully turns a wider audience on to Eggers' work. Killer beliefs in Eggers' movies. Superstitions and belief systems are arguably the antagonist in each of Eggers' movies. All 3 films have incorporated the supernatural, and all 3 have done so through hallucinatory filters that leave the audience to decipher what's real and what's imagined. In an interview for the WTF with Mark Maron podcast, Eggers said that one of his biggest fears is believing. Believing that everything around you is significant and connected to your beliefs can lead to madness. And Eggers brings that to the fore. His characters are always connected to some set of myths, folklore, or beliefs, and those things cause them grief. This theme is meant to mirror something essential about the human condition. We have to decide each day what's significant and what isn't. We develop systems of belief that explain the chaos around us, and the extent to which we hold to those beliefs can bring joy or despair. Beliefs in the witch.
Thomason, take your children outside.
In The Witch, the evil visited upon the family begins when their baby, Samuel, disappears. The mother, played by Kate Dickey, blames the oldest daughter, Thomason, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, creating a rift in the family that only widens. Eggers describes the movie as a Puritan nightmare, so suffice it to say that the film's filled with devilishly witchy happenings, but a few tread the line between reality and visions more closely than others. For example, the mother at one point imagines that Samuel and her recently exorcised/deceased son, Caleb, played by Harvey Scrimshaw, have returned to her, and she breastfeeds Samuel. We then see that she's actually exposing her breast to a raven, which violently pecks it as she laughs. Later, when the rest of Thomason's family is dead, possibly at her hands and possibly at those of a witch and the devil, the family goat takes human form and coaxes her into the woods, where she levitates along with a coven of chanting witches. Thomason has just killed her mother and been left alone in the wild, so we can't be sure to what extent her vision of the coven is imagined. Adding to our uncertainty, the family crops had been rotting with ergot, a fungus, known to cause hallucinations. What we do know is that superstition led her family to violence and paranoia, which both played no small part in their demise. Beliefs in the lighthouse.
You don't like me cooking?
Oh, don't be such an old bitch!
You're drunk.
The world of The Lighthouse seems fraught with that paranoia from the beginning. Eggers made the choice to shoot in black and white and used overcast weather to create a background of gray haze and a number of outdoor scenes. He also shot the film in an aspect ratio of 1:19:1, making the screen appear as a claustrophobically small box. With the haze and the box displacing the lead characters from the world beyond, we get the sense that supernatural forces are encroaching on them from all sides. The Lighthouse is dense with mythological symbolism and folklore, but those elements of the story play a supporting role to the mythos the characters have built up about themselves. Both Thomas Wake, played by Willem Dafoe, and Thomas Howard, played by Robert Pattinson, lie about who they are, and when the truth finally comes to light, it causes them to unravel.
Fond of me lobster, ain't you?
Drunken in a Virginia fence.
I seen it. You're fond of me.
The irony in The Lighthouse is that the most unsettling imagery in it comes from mythology, but the characters suffer the worst from facing the truth. Self-deceit acts as a shield from the font of all knowledge/existence represented by The Lighthouse's Fresnel lens. More than Eggers' other movies, The Lighthouse treats supernatural beliefs ambivalently. But if you believe that the mystery in the lens is what drives Thomas Howard to his agonized death, rather than cabin fever, his obsession with the terrifying mermaid, or the murder he's just committed, then perhaps belief in the supernatural has taken a hold of you too. Beliefs in the Northman. On its face, the Northman is the least ambiguous of these three movies.
I never mourned him. You were his queen.
Egger retells the saga of Amith, Prince of Denmark. Following Saxo's original text more than Shakespeare's famous adaptation of it, which is Hamlet, the resulting film is a brutal epic about a Viking berserker entrenched in Norse mythology. Amith, played by Alexander Skarsgård, spends his life seeking vengeance upon his uncle, who murdered his father, King Arvindil, played by Ethan Hawke, and wed his mother. Throughout the film, Amith seems on the verge of separating himself from his supposed destiny. He doesn't participate in post-combat raping and pillaging like his fellow berserkers. He falls for Olga, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, with whom he almost flees Iceland for a new life rather than killing his uncle. He's almost better than his forebears, but ultimately turns to savagery because of the things he believes.
Fierce-hearted slayer of men with some drink, that I might drink to him.
Accept my call.
After terrorizing his uncle's village with a series of horrific killing while disguised as a loyal servant, Amith confronts his mother with his true identity, offering to rescue her. Gudrun, played by Nicole Kidman, destroys Amith's image of her by revealing that she ordered Arvindil's killing, as she despised the king for his simplicity. This knot in Amith's system of beliefs almost turns him from his course. What leads him back to his quest and his eventual demise are more beliefs. Amith believes wholeheartedly in the prophecies delivered to him by seers, in the warrior's afterlife in Valhall, and in visions of his family tree that he started having after being introduced to drugs by his father. As Amith lays dying, he envisions, for the second time in the film, a Valkyrie carrying him to Valhall. And at this point, we know better than to automatically believe in what's being shown to us. Attention to detail. Perhaps the only people more obsessive than Robert Eggers' characters are the people on Robert Eggers' creative teams. Eggers and the people he hires attend to every historical detail regarding set design, costume design, language, and period-specific lore. This specificity lends to the sensation of being transported to another world in another time. You live in the world that the characters live in, both physically and mentally. This includes living in the presence of mystic and supernatural things, whether or not they are real. Whichever of Eggers' films you choose to challenge yourself with, the best advice I can offer is to give them the same focus that Eggers affords to research and design. The themes covered in this article can serve as a framework for engaging with his films, but the devil, along with the gods, the dread, and the sublime, is in the details.